everyone. Today we are going to discuss about overall subject as quick revision. This is series 1 and series 2 will be discussed on upcoming class. Before that, please do consider syllabus wise Unit 1 to Unit 10 MCQs, DART, practice test, important days related to food and health link has been given in description. So please go through it and subscribe our channel. Let's move on to the slide. So here comes about Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. Its headquarters at New Delhi and it has 6 regional offices. It consists of chairperson and 22 members. Then present chairperson is Rajesh Bhushan and present chief executive officer is S. Gopalakrishnan, and it comes under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, established in 1947, and it gets operationalized on 5th August 2011. And next about types of food laboratories: primary food laboratories, referral food laboratories, and national reference laboratories. So presently 225 primary food laboratories and 20 referral food laboratories and 11 national reference laboratories and 2 ancillary national laboratories. So first, let's see about primary food laboratories. Here, the Food Authority notifies the food laboratories and research institution accredited by NABL for the purpose of carrying out analysis of sample by food analyst. Then referral food laboratory. Here it is to carry out analysis of appeal samples. Then national reference laboratories. Here it is for routine procedures, validation of such standard procedure, testing methods, development of new methods, and ensuring proficiency in testing across the food laboratories with special reference to the risk or food laboratories. Either a primary food laboratory or a referral food laboratory can be considered for declaration as National Reference Laboratory. And here comes International Organization for Standardization. ISO certified means an organization has developed, maintains, and continuously improves its business process. Here, the most popular ISO standards for industries are ISO 9001, ISO 14001 and ISO 27001. Let's see one by one. ISO 20000 for IT service management, ISO 50001 for energy management, ISO 20000 for food safety management, ISO 22301 business continuity management, ISO 9001 for quality management, ISO 14001 for environmental management, ISO 45001 occupational health and safety management, ISO 27001 for information security management. And next, ISO 31000 for risk management, ISO 9001 BS 10800 for quality management for the security industry. Then at last, ISO 45003 psychological health and safety at work guidelines for managing psychosocial risk. And at last, retired standards OHSAS 18001 for health and safety management. Then BS 11000 for collaborative business relationship. And next, ISO 9001 timeline. In 1980, Technical Committee 176 formed. Then first edition at 1987. Then first minor revision 1994. Then at 2000, first major revision. Then 2008, second minor revision. Then 2015, second major revision. And next about 7 principles of ISO 9001-2015. The quality management principles are customer focus, leadership, engagement of people, process approach, improvement, evidence-based decision making, relationship management. And here comes 7 HACCP principles of food safety plan. Principles 1 to 5 are required and principles 6 and 7 are highly recommended. So the principles are identifying hazards, accessing less risk. Then second, identifying critical control point. Then third, establishing critical limit. Fourth, implementing continuous monitoring. Fifth, implementing corrective measures. Then sixth, verification validation. Then seventh, documentation and record keeping. And next about HACCP steps. 12 steps are there. Assemble HACCP team, describe the product, identify intended use, construct flow diagram, on-site confirmation of flow diagram, conduct hazard analysis, determine critical control point, establish critical limit, establishing monitoring procedure, establish corrective action, establish verification procedure, and establish record keeping and documentation procedure. And here the second schedule of Act contains all the earlier food related legislations. So these 8 orders has been repealed after FSS Act 2006. They are Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, Food Products Order 1955, Meat Food Products Order 1973, Vegetable Oil Products Order 1947, Edible Oils Packaging Order 1998, Solvent Extracted Oil, De-oiled Meal, Edible Flour Order 1967, Milk and Milk Products Order 1992. Then any other order issued under the Essential Commodities Act 1955 relating to food under Section 99 of Act Milk and Milk Products Order 1992 shall be deemed to be regulation issued by authority under this Act. Annexed 6 principal regulations notified on 1st August 2011. Food Safety and Standards, Licensing and Registration of Food Business 2011. Then Prohibition and Restriction of Sales 2011. Packaging and Labeling 2011. Contaminants, Toxins, Residues 2011. Laboratory and Sampling Analysis 2001. Food Products Standards and Food Additives 2011. So these 6 principal regulations comes under 2011. And next, other regulations notified till date under FSS Act 2006 are given below. That is, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, Transaction of Business at its meetings 2010 and Procedure for Transaction of Business of Central Advisory Committee 2010. Then salary, allowances and other condition of service of officers and employees. It comes 2013. And next 2016 for Transaction of Business and Procedures for the Scientific Committee and Scientific Panel. And next, Health Supplements, Nutraceuticals, Food for Special Dietary Use, Food for Special Medical Purpose, Functional Food and Novel Food 2016. Then 2017 for Food Recall Procedure and Import 2017. Then Approval for Non-Specific Food and Food Ingredients 2017. Organic Food 2017. Then Alcoholic Beverages and Fortification of Food 2018. And next, Food Safety Auditing, Recognition and Notification of Laboratories, Advertising and Claims, Packaging, Recruitment and Appointment Regulations comes under 2018. Then Recovery and Distribution of Surplus Foods 2019. Then for 2020, Safe Food and Balanced Diet for Children in School, Foods for Infant Nutrition and Labeling and Display comes under 2020. And next about Structural Framework. Let's see about Scientific Panel. It comes under Section 13. Here, independent scientific experts of food additives, flavorings, processing aids, then pesticides and antibiotic residues, genetically modified organism, functional foods, nutraceuticals, dietetic products, biological hazard, contaminants of food chain, labeling and methods of sampling and analysis. And then about scientific committee. It comes under section 14. Here, chairperson of scientific panel and 6 independent scientific experts not associated with scientific panels were present. Then, Central Advisory Committee. Here, 2 members from food industry, agriculture, consumers, research bodies and food lab, commissioners of food safety and chairperson of scientific committee. Then CEO, and he is an ex officio chairperson of CAC. Then chairperson, he is the functional head of food authority, not below the rank of secretary to the government of India. Then food authority, 22 members. And next, role and responsibilities of food safety officer. So the first, about inspection. Inspections for registration and licensing. Then routine periodic inspection of premises, complaints and audit investigation. Then second, about sampling. In sampling, the sampling of foods and any other substances. Sampling in food safety, surveillance and survey studies. Then third, training awareness and facilitations of food business operator and consumers. Here, training of food business operators to implement food safety management system plans. General awareness of consumers. Then facilitate the food business operators and municipalities, panchayat, to prepare the food safety plan. And next, classification of foodborne illness. So the first, infection. Infection is caused by eating the food that contains living disease causing microorganism. Example, salmonella. Intoxication. It is caused by eating food that contains a harmful toxin or the chemical produced by bacteria or other source. Example, Clostridium botulinum. And toxin mediated infection. Here comes both infection and intoxication. Example, Staphylococcus toxin. And next, the diagrammatic representation of hazard categories. So there are 3 types: biological, chemical and physical. Under biological, the examples are bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae and parasites. And coming to chemicals, cleaning chemicals, pesticides, solvents and lubricants, food additives, animal antibiotics, heavy metals, naturally occurring chemicals. And examples for physical hazards are glass, pest, vegetable and mineral matter and plastic. And here comes about risk analysis. So here it's of 3 types: risk assessment, risk management and risk communication. Under risk assessment, hazard identification, hazard characterization, exposure assessment and risk characterization or comes under risk assessment. Then risk management, it's to assess the policy alternatives, select and implement the appropriate options. And in risk communication, here it's the interactive exchange of information and opinions. And here comes about horizontal panels and vertical panels. Horizontal panels, food additives, flavorings, processing aids and materials in contact with food. Then pesticide residues and antibiotic residues, genetically modified organisms and food, biological hazards, contaminants in the food chain, labeling and claims, advertisement, method of sampling and analysis, nutrition and fortification and packaging. Then coming to vertical panels, here the specific food comes under this vertical panel, that is functional foods, nutraceuticals, dietetic products and other similar products, fish and fisheries product, cereals, pulses and legumes and their products including bakery, then fruits and vegetables, and their products, meat and meat products including poultry, milk and milk products, oils and fat, sweets, confectionery, sweetness, sugars and honey, then water and beverages, spices and culinary herbs, and at last alcoholic beverages. And then common adulterants in ground spices. So the first, turmeric powder. Here, addition of lead chrome, metanyl yellow, chalk powder or yellow soapstone powder and starch. Substitution with other rhizomes like arrowroot. Then chili powder. Here, addition of brick powder, Sudan dye, salt powder or talc powder, artificial colors and dyes, color, grit, sand, dirt, filth, sawdust and dried tomato skin. Next, asafoetida, hing. Here, adding soapstone or other earthy material, starch and foreign resin. And next, in cinnamon, substitution with cassia bark. Then saffron, addition of colored dried dendrils of maize cob and sandalwood dust, tartrazine and coconut threads. Then in cardamom, substitution with de-oiled cardamom, artificial colorant like apple green and malachite green. Then black pepper, here it is adulterated with papaya seed. Then in cumin seeds, grass seeds colored and fennel seeds are adulterated. And next, the identification of calcium carbide ripened fruits. So, the industrial grade calcium carbide is often used by some traders to release acetylene gas for artificial ripening of fruits like mango, banana and papaya. This calcium carbide contains traces of arsenic and phosphorus, which is harmful for humans and may cause dizziness, frequent thirst, irritation, weakness, difficulty in swallowing, vomiting and skin cancer. Let's see the quality parameters. Weight per fruit by calcium carbide, it's fair. Naturally ripened, good. Then texture, not very attractive but uniformly colored in calcium carbide. For naturally ripened, it is attractive but not uniformly colored. Then aroma, mildly good for calcium carbide and good for naturally ripened. Firmness, fair for artificially ripened, for both naturally and artificially ripened. Then taste, incore, sour, mildly pleasant for fruit ripened using calcium carbide. Then sweet, longer for naturally ripened. And shelf life, here shorter, black blotches appear on the skin in 2 or 3 days by using this calcium carbide, but it's longer for naturally ripened fruit. And next about aflatoxin. Aflatoxins are produced by fungi, by Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. The spores of this fungi grow on suitable food substrate under favorable condition. Its prevalence is aggravated in pre-harvest crops by conditions like drought, floods, delayed harvest, pest infestation and inadequate drying, including improper post-harvest handling and storage of crops and food. Then here comes about regulatory status. The maximum limit for mycotoxin including aflatoxins are given. First, the aflatoxin present in all articles of food, the limit 30 mg per kg. Next, aflatoxin M1, it is present in milk, the limit 0.5 mg. Then patulin, it is present in apple juice and apple juice ingredients in other beverages. So the limit is 50 mg per kg. Then ochratoxin A, it is present in wheat, barley and rye. So the limit is 20 mg per kg. And next, to follow the 12 golden rules to get a safe food. So the first, keep the premise clean and have regular pest control. Then second, use potable water for food preparation. Third, cook food thoroughly. Keep hot food above 60 degrees Celsius and cold food below 5 degrees Celsius. Then fourth, store veg and non-veg food, raw and cooked food in separate containers. Then fifth, store cold food below 5 degrees Celsius and frozen products at minus 18 degrees Celsius or below. Then 6th, use separate chopping boards, knives for raw or cooked and veg and non-veg food. Then 7th, wear clean clothes uniform. Then 8th, wash hands before and after handling food and after using toilets, coughing and sneezing. Then 9th, use waterproof bandage to cover cuts or burn wounds. Then 10th, do not handle food when unwell. Then 11th, use clean and separate dusters to clean the surfaces and wipe the utensils. Then 12th, keep separate and covered dustbins for food waste. And next, flow of registration application. Every petty food business operator shall register themselves with the registering authority by submitting an application along with a fee of ₹100. So first, filing of an application in Form A with fees ₹100. Then unique application reference number is obtained. Next, registering authority may grant or reject registration with reasons to be recorded in writing within 7 days of receipt of an application for registration. Then inspection is ordered within 7 days. Then inspection is done within 30 days. Finally, the registration granted food business operator may start the business. And here comes about the license issued by Central Licensing Authority and State Licensing Authority. For Central Licensing Authority, ₹7,500, and for State Licensing Authority, let's see one by one. Manufacturer or miller above 1 metric ton per day production or 10,001 to 50,000 of milk for 501 to 2,500 metric tons of milk solids per annum, ₹5,000. Then hotels 3-star and above, ₹5,000. Next, all food service providers including restaurant, boarding house, clubs serving food, canteens, caterers, banquet halls with food catering arrangement, food vendors like dabawalas, 2,000. Next, any other food business operator, ₹2,000. And next, what's on food label? Here, first by date marking, then product name, net weight, ingredient list, nutrition information, usage instruction and manufacturer's detail. It's all given in this food label. And next, specific labeling requirements for food categories. Infant milk substitutes and infant foods. Here the statement has mother's milk is best for your baby. And next, the infant food only used under advice of health worker. Then the infant substitute is not the sole source of nourishment of an infant. Warnings and captions about the use and storage of this food. Label on infant milk substitutes or infant food shall have no picture of infant or woman or both. Then the label shall indicate the additional information if recommended as premature baby, low birth weight and to be taken under medical advice in capital letters. Then infant milk substitutes or infant food for lactose intolerant infant, the label shall indicate lactose free or sucrose free statements. Then infant milk substitutes or infant food for infant allergic to cows or buffalo milk or soy protein shall have label with statement hypoallergenic formula, composition of nutrients per 100 grams as well as ISI mark. And next, edible oil and fat. Here, the label shall not be used the expressions which are an exaggeration of quality of product, that is extra refined or ultra refined or anti-cholesterol. Then permitted food colors. Label shall state the word food colors with complete chemical and the common name and color index of the dye stuff. Then irradiated food. The label shall bear the declaration processed by irradiation method and the date of irradiation and logo of license number of irradiation unit and purpose of irradiation. And next, key aspects of good manufacturing practice. So the first, consideration of requirements for the premises and maintenance of their suitability for food manufacturing operation. Then the facilities and their adequacy for involvement in food manufacturing. Then the manufacturing, storage and distribution operation and their appropriateness of the manufacture and supply of food safety management. Requirements for hygiene and food safety management. Then it includes the maintenance of quality and safety of food. And here comes about good agricultural practices and good hygienic practices are the essential preconditions and are together called prerequisite program in food safety system. And next, the product risk ranking for each food category. So the first, dairy products. It's in risk rank of 0.75 high category. Then fat and oil, fat emulsion, edible ices, sherbet and syrup, then fruits and vegetables comes under low category of risk rank 0.1. And next, confectionery, cereals and cereal products comes under the risk rank 0.1 and category low. Then meat and meat products including poultry, then fish and fish products, egg and egg products comes under 0.75 risk rank. Then it's a high category. Next, sweetness including honey, salt, spices, soup, sauces, salads and protein products. Then foodstuff intended for particular nutritional uses, beverages comes under medium category with 0.25. Next, ready to eat savories and prepared food comes under high category and 0.75 in risk rank. Next, substances added to food comes under the category low and risk rank 0.1. And next, about food safety audit structure. Here the audits are classified into three ways: first party, second party and third party. So the first party, here it's a self-assessment to internally verify that procedures and management strategies. And next, second party, it's also known as proprietary audit. Here, a primary organization evaluates the performance of supplier or contractor. Then third party, independent auditors from outside the organization conduct the audits, often for purposes of certification. And next, two types of sample, legal sample and surveillance and monitoring sample. In legal sample, here where after analysis, if an adverse result is received, legal action shall be initiated along with relevant enforcement action for quick relief. Next, surveillance and monitoring sample. The sample drawn for purpose of surveillance is to be monitor the quality and safety of food manufactured, sold or imported in the country. And next, the key requirements to get the hygiene rating. So the basic mandatory requirements of hygiene rating scheme are: the first, food business operator need to have the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India license or registration and follow Schedule 4 requirements. Then second, appoint a certified food safety supervisors and train all food handlers. Then third, must have safety display boards prominently displayed in the premises. Then fourth, get food samples tested periodically from any Food Safety and Standard Authority of India approved lab. And here comes about hygiene rating. 5 for the category excellent, score 81 to 100. For 61 to 80, hygiene rating 4 and category very good. Then third, category good 41 to 60. Then second, needs improvement, percentage score 21 to 40. Then on, urgent improvement 20 or below is the square. And here comes 6 initiatives of FSSAI under the scheme to strengthening of food testing laboratories. Support mobile food lab, strengthen state food testing laboratories, capacities building of food testing personnel, strengthen referral food testing laboratories, develop food testing culture in schools and colleges, then incentives states to use facilities available in Fssai notified private labs. And next, penalties. Here, the section 33 for prohibition order, section 34 emergency prohibition notices and orders, section 39 liability of food safety officers in certain cases. Then penalties with monetary fine only comes under section 50 to section 58. Then penalties with monetary fine plus imprisonment comes under section 59 to section 67. And here the consolidated table for penalties with monetary fine plus imprisonment. Section 50. Penalty for selling food not of the nature or substance or quality demanded. So the liability, seller if petty food manufacturer registered as a seller too. So the penalty is 5,25,000. Then section 51. Offence, penalty for substandard food. So the liability, manufacturer, seller, distributor, storage and importer. Penalty 5 lakh. Then section 52. Penalty for misbranded food. Liability, manufacturer, seller, distributor, storage and importer. So the penalty is 3 lakh rupees. And next, section 53. Penalty for misleading advertisement. Liability, person who publishes or is a party to publication of misleading advertisement. Penalty 10 lakh. Then section 54. Penalty of food containing extraneous matter. Here the liability, manufacturer, seller, distributor and storage and importer. Penalty 1 lakh. Then section 55. Penalty for failure to comply with the direction of food safety officer. Liability, food business operator or importer. So the penalty 2 lakhs. Next, section 56. Penalty for unhygienic or unsanitary processing or manufacturing of food. So the liability, manufacturer or processor. So the penalty 1 lakh. Next, penalty for processing adulterant if adulterant not injurious to health 2 lakh, then injurious to health 10 lakh rupees. It comes under section 57. Then section 58, penalty for contraventions for which no specific penalty is provided, any individual or person. Here comes 2 lakh rupees as fine. Then section 59, punishment for unsafe food, 6 months or 1 lakh. Then if unsafe food cause no injury, non-grievous injury, grievous injury and death. So first, no injury, the penalty is 6 months and 1 lakh. Then non-grievous injury for 1 year 3 lakh. Then grievous injury 6 years 5 lakh. And at last, if death occurs not less than 7 years but extended up to lifetime, and fine shall not be less than 10 lakh. And next about Haccp certification scheme. Here it is of two types, voluntary and mandatory. Under voluntary scheme, for agricultural commodities or domestic trade and export, total 227 commodities are notified. Let's see one by one. For food grains and allied products, 32 commodities, fruit and vegetables, 57 commodities, spices and condiments, 27 commodities, edible nuts, 8, oil seeds, 18, vegetable oil and fats, 19, oil cakes, 8, essential oils, 8, fiber crops, 5, livestock, dairy and poultry, 10, other products, 35. Totally 227 commodities. And next about Hpsc certification as per Food Safety and Standard Regulation 2011 as They are infant formula, milk cereal based weaning food, processed cereal based weaning food, follow-up formula, packaged drinking water, packaged mineral water, milk powder, skimmed milk powder, partly skimmed milk powder, then condensed milk, partly skimmed and skimmed condensed milk. And here comes about vegetarian and non-vegetarian marks. The green dot symbol left identifies the vegetarian symbol, that is vegetarian food, and the brown triangle symbol identifies non-vegetarian food. And next, 3 pillars of consumer awareness: Eat Right Campus, Eat Right School, and Eat Right Toolkit. So, Eat Right Campus and Eat Right School, these two remains the consumers to eat right wherever they are, whether at school, home, or workplace. Then Eat Right Toolkit, it's an interactive community resource for frontline workers. Then here comes about minimum quantity of laboratory sample to be analyzed by food analyst. So for milk 500 ml, sterilized milk 500 ml, then 200 gram for malai or dahi, then 500 gram for yogurt, 250 gram for chana, paneer, khoya and shrikant, then 200 gram for cheese, evaporated milk, condensed milk, then 300 gram for ice cream, softie, kulfi and ice candy, then 250 gram for milk powder and skimmed milk powder, then 500 gram for infant food, 300 gram for malt food, 200 gram for butter, butter oil, ghee, margarine, cream and bakery shortening, then 400 gram vanaspati, edible oil, fat, 3 liter for carbonated water. And next, baking powder 100 gram, arrowroot, sago 250 gram, cornflakes, macaroni products, corn flour, custard powder 200 gram, then 500 gram for spices, condiments and mixed masala, whole and powder, then 250 gram for nutmeg, 100 gram for asafoetida, 150 gram for compounded asafoetida, 20 gram for saffron, 250 gram for gur, jaggery, icing sugar, honey, synthetic syrup, bura, 200 gram for canned sugar, refined sugar, cube sugar, 100 gram for artificial sweetener, 1 liter for fruit juice, fruit drink and fruit squash, then 300 gram for tomato sauce, ketchup, tomato paste, jam, jelly, marmalade, tomato pure and vegetable sauce. And next, 200 gram for non-fruit jellies, 250 gram for pickles and chutneys, oil seeds, nuts and dry fruits, 500 gram for tea, roasted coffee, roasted chicory, 100 gram for instant tea, instant coffee chicory mixture, then 200 gram for sugar confectionery, chewing gum, bubble gum, chocolates. Next, edible salt 200 gram, iodized salt and fortified salt 200 gram, 1 kg for manual for food safety officer draft for designing, then 500 gram atta, maida, suji, besan, other milled products, then 200 gram for biscuit and rusk, 150 gram for gelatin, 250 gram for bread, cake and pastries, 150 gram for cashew, 300 gram for vinegar, synthetic vinegar, 25 gram for food color, 25 gram per 100 ml for food color preparation, solid or liquid. Then natural mineral water, packaged drinking water, 4000 ml in 3 minimum original sealed packs, silver leaf 2 gram, prepared food 500 gram, proprietary food that is non-standardized food 500 gram, canned food 6 sealed cans, food not specified 500 gram, then food packaging material taken from manufacturer 8 into 1000 into 9 square centimeter surface area, then food packaging material from small consumer packages, complete packaging material used for 1 container. If you have any doubt, please ask on to comment section. Series 2 revision will be discussed in upcoming class. So please subscribe our channel. Thank you.